Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Finally, Samsung released the stable version of OneUI 6 based on Android 14, and I have it here on my S23 Ultra to show you each and every new change. So without further ado, let's jump in. So let's start with the build number and size. Here on my S23 Ultra, the size is 3 GB and it comes with October security patch. And here's the version number. Just make sure to update all your apps after installing OneUI 6 to get all the new features. And now let me show you what's new. Let's start with the lock screen, and the only thing I'm going to show you here is the ability to resize and reposition your clock. So for example, you can make it as big as the entire width or very small, and also you can position it anywhere on the top half of your lock screen. You are not limited to any aligning. You can put it literally anywhere you want. And also when you push it to any of the sides, the icons and the clock will self-align themselves, as you see here. So I think this is a really nice feature. Now let's move on to the home screen. The first change is the app labels are now limited only to one line, and even Samsung apps are adhering to this new change. So for example, the Galaxy Store is now called the Store, and you'll find the same thing for other apps like Samsung Pass, Samsung Wallet. Even the third-party apps I have installed on the device show the name only in one line. The second change is the ability to access the app shortcuts directly from your search. So for example, when I tap and hold on these apps, I can jump right away to any of the shortcuts, which wasn't the case before. And with OneUI 6, you will see a new default font that, as per Samsung, it looks more modern. And to make sure that you are using this new font, just go to settings and then font style and make sure that your device is set to default. I also found that the stable version is using lighter color palettes under the Wallpaper and the Style app when compared to the beta versions. So now you will see on the screen a screenshot from my previous video. I'm using the same wallpaper and the same color palette, but when I go, for example, to my quick settings, as you see, the color is now lighter. Plus, you have the ability to reorganize your apps and folders using two hands. So for example, I can hold this app and start scrolling with the other hand, and that will make it much easier. You can also multi-select items like this and hold all of them together and do the same gesture. Now let's talk about the biggest change in this update, which is the redesigned notifications and quick panel. You will notice here that each notification appears in its own line, which makes it easier to manage. Even when you expand the notifications from the same app, they are also separated, and the app name will appear at the top left corner. The collapsed view of the quick panel looks pretty much the same as OneUI 5, but when you expand it, that's when you will see a complete revamp. First, you get the permanent Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth tiles at the top, and when you tap on any of them, you will get this new pop-up card, which will allow you to check your current network, search for other networks, and pick whatever you want. Plus, you can turn the feature on or off. At the bottom left, you have the details button, which will take you to the Wi-Fi settings page. The only downside here, when you select any Wi-Fi network, it takes you to a totally different page to finish the task, while I prefer to stay on the same page and finish everything. The same thing applies to the Bluetooth tile. You get the same thing, but here you got a slightly better design for the pop-up card when compared to the beta versions of OneUI 6. You can also tap on the icon itself to turn the feature on or off if you want. And there is a separate section for all other toggles like the Do Not Disturb, airplane mode, and so on. And also when you tap and hold on any of the buttons, it will show you the same new redesigned card, or you can use them as toggles. The third section is dedicated for the display options like the brightness slider and more brightness features. And also we have the eye comfort shield and the dark mode toggle. And lastly, you have a quick access to the smart view and device control. I also found that if I have Google Home set as my default app, now I'm getting the redesigned look, and instead of having the same one that looks exactly the same like Smart Things. Now let's go to the edit page to see even more options. Now you have the ability to edit the top row and the full view separately without impacting each other. So for example, when you go here, you have the ability to edit those 6 icons by using the simple tapping or the drag and drop. And it says here that 6 buttons are required. After that, you can also edit the full view, and this is only limited to the middle section. You don't have any control over the other sections like the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and the other things at the bottom as well. Then we have a new option called the Quick Settings Instant Access, and when you activate this feature, it will give you the ability to jump right away to your quick panel by swiping from the right side. But if you want to check your notifications, then you swipe from the left side, which is exactly the same as iOS. Then we have the brightness controls, and here you can choose between show always or show when quick panel expanded, which means if I have it on show always, the first swipe can allow me to access the brightness slider, but if I have it on the other option, it will not show up and I can only see it with the expanded version. Then we have the device control and the media output buttons, and here you can choose to show them when collapsed or not. And finally, the contact us button. But there are a couple of things I missed to mention about the notifications. The first one is the ability to sort your notifications. So when you go to settings and then notifications, here you have sort notifications by priority or by time. The second thing is under the advanced notification settings, and here we have a new toggle called show app icon in notifications. This will allow you to see the app icon, the same one you see on your home screen in the notifications shade. But if you want to get these shaded icons, you can toggle this feature off, and it works only when you get new notifications. So when I toggle between on or off, it will never change unless the app sends me a new notification. Android 14 also added a neat new feature. So for example, when you turn on your airplane mode, by default, it will automatically turn off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. But if you want to activate your Bluetooth while using airplane mode, like this, next time you do the same action, the Bluetooth will not be impacted, and the same applies to the Wi-Fi, and it will show you this notification to let you know about this new feature. Last but not least, the media controls got a complete revamp. First, we have this new animated progress bar. The album art is used as a background. All the information are on the left side, and the buttons are now more rounded with a fill color, with a quick access to the media output switcher from here. And on top of this, when you collapse the media controls and then re-expand your quick settings, it will stay collapsed. But if you want to see this new design all the time, all you need to do is to just expand it once, and it will always show you this new design, either on your home or lock screen. Not to mention that the progress bar color will change based on the album art color. So you will see here, it will keep changing, and this is a really nice touch. Next, the camera. And the most exciting change is the new camera widget. This one will work as a shortcut to quickly launch your camera in a specific camera mode. So let's add it to my home screen. And once you do this, it will give you the settings page. The first thing you can do is to give your widget a name. So I'm gonna call this one Portrait and set it to always launch the portrait mode. And I can achieve this by tapping on the starting mode, choosing between the front or the rear camera, then portrait. After that, you have the ability to select a specific album to save these photos to. I'm gonna choose an album called Portraits as well. And then you can choose a background for your widget. You can use the most recent image in the album you chose, or you can select a specific image to appear all the time, like for example this one, and then tap on save. And this is how your widget looks, and this is the smallest size you can get. And if you want to create multiple widgets for your camera, you can definitely do this as well. And a nice thing to do is to resize your widget and then stack all of them on top of each other like this, and that will save you some space on your home screen. Now let's open the camera app itself to see what else we have. Now you can choose the photo resolution and the aspect ratio separately, but previously all of them were listed under the same menu, which was a bit confusing, and the same applies to the video as well. And when you go to settings, you will see multiple new changes. The first one is related to the watermark. So let me switch to the photo mode first and then go to settings. You will see here when I go to watermark, I have multiple aligning options, and you will have a preview at the top to show you how it looks exactly. You will also find a new toggle under settings called swipe up or down to switch cameras. And by default, when you swipe up on a Samsung phone, you switch to the front camera. But if you don't want this to happen, you can simply turn off the switch. The next feature is the new levelers that will appear in the viewfinder to help you align your photos while taking them. And for you to activate this feature, you need to first go to settings and then activate the grid lines. Once you do this, you will notice here I have a dot, that will allow me to align the image while snapping. And also when I hold the phone like this, you will also see a leveler here, which is like a line in the center of the screen that will allow me to align the image. And here's how it looks. Another feature added under settings is called quality optimization that you can access by going to advanced intelligence options. And here you have 3 different levels to choose from. When you have it set to maximum, you will see here that the scene optimizer is activated, and it says here automatically optimize the color and the contrast of pictures to make dark scenes look brighter, and so on. And if you want to set it to medium, that will speed up the capture time by doing less optimization, but you will notice here that the scene optimizer is now grayed out, and the same applies to minimum, which will take photos as fast as possible by not optimizing pictures after they are taken. But I found that the maximum option is fast enough, so I think I will keep it that way. The documents scanning also got 2 new improvements. First, you can use it without the need to activate Scene Optimizer. So if you have the Scene Optimizer turned off, you can still scan documents automatically using the camera. And the second new feature is the ability to automatically scan the documents without the need to hit the shutter key. So let me show you how it works. I have the auto scan activated, and when I point it towards the document, you will see here, it says hold your camera still, and now it captured the document automatically, and it took me right away to the editing screen, so I can crop, rotate, or do whatever I want, and then tap on the save button. And when it comes to adding filters or effects, now you will get a dial to change the strength instead of a slider like before, which will give you more precision. And the last change under camera is the new Auto FPS feature. So when you go to settings and then scroll down a bit, you will see here Auto FPS. So let's open it, and it says here, record brighter videos in low light conditions by automatically optimizing the frame rate in video mode. And here you can choose between off, use with the 30 FPS videos only, or use it with the 30 and 60 FPS videos. Now we're done with the camera, so let's talk about the gallery. And the first change is the new smart suggestions. So for example, when I open this photo and then swipe up, you will see that I'm getting some suggestions here like the background effect, the remaster, object eraser, and so on. But when I open something else, like for example this one, and then swipe up, I'm getting here remaster and object eraser. So it identifies what you have in the picture and gives you the most relevant options. The second change is the ability to move or copy photos between albums using the drag and drop gesture. So for example, when you go to albums, open any of the albums you have. So I'm gonna select those 3 photos, then tap and hold, and you will see this bar on the left with all the albums I have. So let's say I want to copy them to the portraits album. Now I have the option to copy or move, so I'm gonna tap on copy, and I'm done. Now I have them in this album. Change number 3 is the ability to save your clipped photos as stickers. So for example, when I tap and hold on myself, I'm getting this new option, save as a sticker. And next time you edit any image and then go to stickers, you will see all your saved stickers in this tab. So you can drag them over like this, and then resize the way you want. And you can access these stickers from your keyboard as well by tapping on the emoji button, then go to this tab, and you will find all of them here. Under the stories, we got a new enhanced view. When you open the story and then swipe up, you will see thumbnails of all the photos included in your story. From here, you can show or hide content. You can also remove images or videos or add more if you want. Now let's talk about the photo editor, and the first change is the addition of the straighten and tilting options under the same transform tab on top of what we already have. So you don't need to switch between tabs to do the actions. Also, we got this new menu which will consolidate all the more options in one place, which is easier to find. Plus, we have these new undo and redo buttons at the top that will allow you to revert your changes one by one, which wasn't the case before. Now let's move to the drawing tab, and the first change you will see is under text. Now you will get more styles, and you have the option to download them like this, in addition to different backgrounds as well. OneUI 6 will also allow you to re-edit your photos after adding text or stickers or drawings. So for example, if I'm gonna add all of these things to my photo and then save it, without saving a copy, I'm actually saving the photo, and then I'm gonna tap on edit again, go to the drawing tab, and then try to delete what I've done, and I can actually achieve this. I can also remove my sticker and finally remove my text by tapping on it and then delete. And when you try to edit a video and then trim this video using the handles, now you have the ability to save a separate copy, which wasn't the case before. And there is one more nice feature added here, which is the ability to size and format your video. So for example, this video is recorded in UHD. I can make it Quad HD, Full HD, and also change the video codec. Then tap on Done, then save it as a copy if I want. And editing videos is now much better after the addition of a new app called Studio, which will give you an iMovie or Adobe-like editing experience. The first thing you need to do is to start a new project. So let me pick some random photos and videos, then tap on Done. Here it will give you a lot of things to do. The first thing is to change the project aspect ratio. You can change the transition effect by choosing between dissolve, fade, slide, or wipe. So let's try wipe and hit the play button. This is how it looks. You can add soundtracks or choose music from your local storage. You can add a sticker or text. And when you do this, it will add an extra layer because it supports multi-layer editing. You can add things after the fact. For example, if you want to add an extra photo or a blank clip, you can achieve this as well. And it works pretty much the same like any other editing app. And when you tap on any item, you can delete or trim it the way you want. Next, the share sheet. And it got some new options. So for example, when I open Google Chrome and try to share an image, you'll notice here that the share sheet looks totally different. You will get a much bigger preview for the photo. Here you have the shortcuts like nearby share, copy image with link, send to devices, and so on, which wasn't the case before. On top of this, I found something really interesting. I tried to share this photo from the gallery app, and you will see here, it will give me some automatic suggestions or some suggested editing to do before sharing the photo. It says here, it's better to tilt this photo, and when I tap on it, it will quickly do the edit for me and then allow me to share it edited, but this will not impact my photo itself. Now let's talk about Samsung keyboard, and with OneUI 6 the emojis got redesigned, so now they look a little bit nicer. Talking about widgets, the smart widget also got a couple of new features. The first one is the bigger app icons to match your home screen. And secondly, when you go to the widget settings, you have the ability to choose between black or white background and also change the transparency. You can exclude some apps, turn on the notifications if you want, and so on. Smart Select also got a couple of new changes. Let's say you want to pin this photo to your home screen, so I'm gonna tap on pin or insert. The first change is the new magnifier that helps in precisely cropping your image. Then I'm gonna tap on pin or insert, go to the home screen, tap the image. Now I have the ability to extract text directly from here. Plus I can minimize it and expand it again if I want. Next, we have the My Files app, and now when you open it, you will see this new recent section. I'm not sure if it's new or not, but I didn't see it on the beta versions of OneUI 6 before. And when you scroll all the way down and then go to Manage Storage, you will see some suggestions in the center. So for example, it says here, add more space with a cloud account, and also top 3 biggest apps. And sometimes it will tell you have a lot of screenshots. You can save your storage by deleting them, and so on and so forth. Next, Samsung Internet. And now when you play a video or music and then leave the current tab like this, the sound will keep playing in the background, and even when you quit the app completely, it will keep playing as well. But don't get too excited because this feature doesn't work with YouTube, so don't expect to get the background playback without having a premium subscription. The second change is the enhanced tab list view. When you use Samsung Internet on tablets or Samsung DeX, you will get 2 columns of tabs instead of only one, which will allow you to see more on the same page. Next, the weather app. And the first change is the new widget, which will show you more information when compared to OneUI 5. It will show you things like the thunderstorms, the snow, rain, and other events. And the weather app itself also shows a lot more information. For example, you can see the wind speed and direction, the atmospheric pressure, the visibility, the dew point, the moon phases, in addition to an interactive map that should allow you to check the weather of any area, but unfortunately I don't have it on my phone even though my app is up to date. And lastly, we got better illustrations for the weather conditions either in the app or the widget. Now let's talk about the calendar app, and the first change is the addition of a new page called schedule under the side menu, which will show you three things: the upcoming events, reminders, and tasks. The second change is the ability to add reminders from the calendar app by going to the side menu and then tap on reminders. One last change in the calendar app: when you switch to the day view, now you can drag and drop items using two hands like what we saw with the home screen. Moving to the reminder app, and the first change is in the home page. You will see here that all the categories are on the top for easier access like this, and all your reminders will be listed in a chronological order, but you can still change the sorting from here. And if your reminders include photos or links, now you will see better previews for them. On top of this, we got two new categories, one for the place-based reminders and the second one for the no alerts, which can also be accessed from the side menu. And when you create a new one, now you have the option to use the camera to take a photo and add it quickly to your reminder, in addition to the ability to choose an all-day event. Next, Bixby. And the first change is the ability to turn on Bixby text to call or Bixby text call while the call is already active by using this button, and this is how it looks. The second change is the ability to change the Bixby greeting by going to the call settings and then Bixby text call. But unfortunately, I don't have this option even though my app's up to date, so I'm not sure if it's region specific. Now let's talk about the changes under settings, and the first one is the battery menu is now showing on the front page instead of being under device care like before. When you go inside, you will also see a complete revamp in how it looks. And when you go to the view details page, you have up to 7 days of usage. Plus the graphs are a bit thicker than the beta versions. And here you have the screen on time and the battery usage. The second change is under security and privacy. When you scroll down a bit, you will see a new feature called Auto Blocker. This feature will help you protect yourself from any unauthorized actions like installing apps from unauthorized stores, turn on app security checks, blocks commands by USB cable, and when you turn on the switch, you can also activate this for the messaging app and block software updates by USB cable. Next, under settings and then modes and routines, when you tap on any of the modes you already have, now you have the ability to choose a separate home screen and lock screen wallpapers and designs. So for example, if I want my lock screen to have this color while sleeping, and I want the clock to be slightly bigger, I want also to have a different shortcut, different color, and so on, and then tap on done. I can do the same thing for my home screen as well. And when I set this mode or turn on this sleep mode, everything will change accordingly. And on top of this, when you try to edit your lock screen from here, it will actually edit the lock screen for this mode only without impacting your normal lock screen. And when you go to routines, you should see some new triggers and actions. Under triggers, there's a new addition here called media is being played. Under actions and then lock screen, you should see some new options, and also under Samsung keyboard. Some people told me that these options are already available on OneUI 5, but that's what's written in Samsung's changelog. Under accessibility, we also got two new features. The first one is under accessibility and then vision enhancements, and then scroll down a bit until you find magnification. Then we have the magnification type. Now we have the ability to switch between partial screen or full screen views. So let me activate the magnifier by using the 3 or the triple tap on the screen, and then tap on this button at the bottom right corner, and you will get this new menu. From here you can choose the magnifier size or switch back to the full screen view like this. Back to the vision enhancements menu, and you will see a new option here called cursor thickness, which will allow you to adjust its size to better see it while editing text. And there are some visual tweaks under settings as well, like for example, your Samsung account email will not show up on the front page, and secondly, the toggles look different, and third, the sliders are thicker than before. So that's pretty much it for today. Those are all the new changes I wanted to show you on OneUI 6. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything. But for now, thanks so much for watching and see you in the next video.